Hello, my name is Barry Schwartz and this is the Search Buzz video recap. Today is Friday, June 5th, and this is the search news we covered over at the Search and Roundtable at searchandroundtable.com over the past week. First up, Google's Gary Illyes announced in the past week at XMX Advanced in Seattle, which I was at, that Google will be doing a data refresh for the Panda update in the next coming weeks. So maybe 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks, maybe 4 weeks. But Google has a Panda refresh coming. It's not going to change the algorithm itself, but it's going to actually update the data behind the algorithm so that if your site has done enough effort to actually recover from the Panda update, it will actually recover hopefully in the next 2, 3, 4 weeks. And obviously when that happens, we will be probably one of the first to cover the Panda refresh. So keep a lookout for that. Again, 2 to 3, 4 weeks or so for the Panda refresh. Next up, he also announced that Penguin one day will hopefully run in real time. Not Panda, but Penguin. Penguin, he said, is they're looking to actually make it continuous, so the data itself is constantly refreshing and being pushed into the real-time algorithm. But with Panda, that's always, at least in the near future, it's always going to need a data refresh manually, whereas Penguin hopefully is going to be more automated in the future. And when that's going to happen, probably in the next several months, nothing really that soon, he said. So I asked John, what does he mean when he, about a week ago or two, actually 2 weeks ago, he said that the Panda and Penguin algorithms would be run faster, it would be a bit faster, he said. And I asked him yesterday, or 2 days ago, not exactly when, this week sometime, what does that mean? What does that mean by run faster? And John basically said, I don't have anything specific that I could share about that. Run a bit faster is as much as you could get. So he's obviously being very careful in terms of how he answers my questions, which is a good thing, but I tried and I couldn't get the answer for you. Also, Google's John Mueller said this morning about 5 a.m. Eastern in a video hangout on Google Plus that they do thousands of updates to the search algorithm each year. I believe this is not new because we've been seeing Google's updates. I personally cover like hundreds per year. And obviously with all the UI changes and all the other stuff that's going on, there's definitely thousands of updates per year, but John Mueller said it. He said essentially this, meaning the Google's core algorithm updates, is something we do all the time. We make thousands of updates to inner algorithms every year, he said. Gary is one of the more transparent Googlers out there, and he said that he would love, at least on Twitter he said, he would love to actually tell us the internal names Google uses for their updates. So, of course, we have the Google Sandbox, the Florida update, Panda, which wasn't originally the original name for the algorithm, but they named it that after the fact. The web spam algorithm, which we named Penguin, and so forth. And obviously, there's different names out there that we've used. So we name most of them. Google sometimes names them, but they also have internal names for them. And it said here, Dr. P from Moz said, one of these days I really love to do a what SEOs call stuff versus what Google calls stuff resource. And Gary said, I'm planning to do something like that, but there's bureaucracy at Google. He is incredibly transparent. So I ran a poll a while back, I think we have about 1,000 results, about the Google Mobile Friendly Update. And it was supposed to be Mobilegeddon. It was supposed to be one of the most significant, or the more significant updates than Panda or Penguin. And Google still stands by that. They said it was definitely more significant than Penguin and Panda in terms of the number of URLs impacted. So here are the poll results asking, how much we've impacted. I think the question was specifically, did you see significant changes? And only 11% said yes. 65% said no, 13% were unsure, which means they don't know, and 11% said sometimes. So it's interesting to see that type of stuff. Google, I announced, or I mentioned a week ago that Google said that they're bringing app indexing to iOS, which is pretty big. So actually now it's in action. You can actually see it. They have a select number of partners. Here are the number of partners that Google launched it with. If you use the Google Chrome app on your iOS device or the Google Search app on your iOS device and you do searches, Google will now show you app indexing results. So here, I need a reservation for Bombay Cricket Club. It shows the Open Table app that you have installed in your app. You click it, it takes you right into the app content with a link to go back to Google. Also, it's actually showing a lot of apps that you might not have installed. So if you do a search for something like Sitter, all it shows at the top are apps. Below that, there are some web results. But it's actually showing you apps on your mobile device, which is very, very interesting. That launched last night. If you want to catch up in the past week in terms of Google, what happened, in the past month of what happened to Google, I did the monthly Google Webmaster Report. Lots of things happened, lots of things. I'm not going to go through it all, but I really summed it up pretty well, I think, on June 2nd at seroundtable.com, so definitely check that out. One note, you should definitely go ahead and log into Google My Business Center, Google My Business, because Google said that if you're inactive for a long period of time, and they'll try to reach out to you. And if they can't reach out to you and they can't get in touch with you, they might go ahead and unverify your verified account. So if you have a Google My Business listing in Google Maps, definitely try to log in every month or so that Google doesn't unverify your account. Google's Buy Now buttons are coming really soon to the search ad platform, specifically on mobile. The point, and we actually covered this at XMS Advanced this week, where Google's head of search ads basically said that the reason they're doing this is to help conversions, and mobile conversions are something that's really a big challenge, and by Google knowing certain things about certain people across Android specifically, they're able to actually help with conversions, and they're actually giving it a test, and it's hopefully be coming out really, really soon. Google knows about your Google Analytics for spam. Google Analytics for spam has been lingering on for at least the past few months. It's been a serious issue for a lot of analytics users, and Google has really not said much. They said they're aware of it and so forth. They're hopefully fixing it, but I really had heard nothing officially from Google outside of some certain reps saying we're aware of it and we're working on it. And it's been months and months and months, and people are really, really upset. Finally, most of you guys who are watching this video will find interesting. So I was hit by Panda 4.1 back in, I think, October. It was a serious hit. I definitely got hit by Panda 4.1, and I did a poll asking you guys if I should be hit or not, and you responded pretty nicely overall. But I decided the poll is not definitely scientific, so I went ahead and I added a Google consumer survey to the bottom of the page. And you might have seen it. It pops up in the right-hand corner of the page sometimes, and it asks you to vote and fill out a survey about the site itself. And I have the results after a month of running it. And its really purpose was behind, because somebody told me, add a survey, ask the users if they like your site, because that's what Panda's all about. And these are the results. I published all the results, and it's very, very interesting. What are you upset about? And it does this summary at the bottom. This is the most important one: is did you successfully, did you find yourself successful after visiting the site? And 70% plus said they did. And they basically give you these answers. So how satisfied are you? The answer is very satisfied, with 42% saying that. There's a whole grid and explains why. What do you find frustrating? Most people said nothing. What is your site about? And most people said SEO news. And did you successfully complete your main reason for visiting the website? And 70% plus said yes. So really interesting, because again, Panda is really about providing useful content to the user and so forth. There's tons of comments here. Definitely take a look at that. And I share the actual raw data with you. I thought it would be very interesting to share that and to see what people had to think about the Panda algorithm versus users and making users happy and so forth. Anyway, that pretty much covers the Search Buzz video recap. My name again is Barry Schwartz, and this is the search news we covered over the past week at seroundtable.com. Again, today is June 5th. Everyone have a great weekend, and I'll see you guys next. Bye.